What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's the People's Champ in the building. So listen, I hear your messages and I decide to when to and how to come up with great topics when it pertains relationships. Because I get so many people to hit me up about relationship issues. I don't know if it's because y'all feel my life is a wreck, is a mess, or maybe you guys feel like I got all the answers when it comes to that. I don't know. But here go a video for you guys. Toxic relationships. Do you stay in them or do you leave? Is it possible to get out of a toxic relationship, or is it possible to recognize that you are in a toxic relationship with the red flags? Yes to all of those. Only thing is, it takes a lot of patience and awareness when it comes to dealing with a toxic person, a toxic individual, because you yourself might be the toxic individual and just can't recognize it. Mac, if I'm a toxic individual, how would I be able to recognize it? Well, if you've been in a relationship, multiple relationships, and it seemed like every relationship, you're constantly being complained about a certain thing that you might do, right? So how is it that you get in relationships with different women that don't know you and they're all having similar experiences with you? And if that's the case, my guy, maybe you are a toxic individual. How could you fix that? Well, the only way you can fix that, you got to truly see it within yourself. You can't fix something with a Band-Aid just to shut the woman up. You got to really be able to actually see it yourself. You have to see it, understand it, and then you have to recognize that the frustration and pain that you're putting on the other individual, you got to put yourself in their shoes, their stilettos, their sandals, their Crocs, or whatever the case may be. You have to put yourself in that individual's shoes. And when you do that, then that's when it's time to do the work, because all you're doing is recognizing that you have narcissistic traits. Now, a narcissistic individual, it's pretty much impossible for them to completely erase all of that up out of them. Now, someone that have narcissistic traits, if you actually do the work, you can get rid of a lot of those traits. However, some things will surface. It's just you'll be more aware of it. You'll be more apologetic about it. And you'll have more empathy to how you're coming off to that individual. And it don't have to be a person that you're in a relationship. It could be a friend or whatever. Or it could just be a regular stranger on the road. You could, boom, blow up on them or whatever the case may be. Then you catch yourself and you apologize about it. Never be too big to apologize. Never. Especially when you know that it was on your end. Okay, that's how you can recognize if you have toxic traits. Now you like, Mac, get off of us guys. How can we recognize when a woman is toxic? This is how you would recognize if a woman is toxic. It's really simple. If the woman that you're with constantly complaining about every little thing that you do, trying to take full control over the time that you have, complain about, let's say, the way that you want to dress, the colognes you want to put on, the time you want to spend with friends or family that was around before she came around, those type of friends. If she always has something negative to say, if she always trying to compare herself to the next person by downplaying the next person, you got to pay attention to that. A lot of those are red flags. Now, when you first get in a relationship, when a person shows signs of jealousy, you might think it's cute. Oh, she really care about me. But not realizing that what you think is cute in the beginning become very ugly as the relationship goes on. So you got to be very aware when it comes to that. Another way you can tell that you have a toxic relationship is when you bring up to that person how their behavior at that moment is making you feel. And when they reverse it and tell you that you do this, you done this, you done that, that's just how I feel, this and that, that person is toxic. Because a person with empathy, a person with compassion will realize that she offended you, or she hurt your feelings, or she rubbed you the wrong way, and she's not going to sit here and say what you done to her or how she feel that you're doing and how you reacted. She would immediately try to what? Correct it, apologize about it, and everything else. But let's be honest, women don't take accountability. I don't know what it is. It's very rare and very slim that a woman would take accountability for their actions. So you got to be real careful when you come to that, because that could be a red flag. But at the same time, you got to remember, you got to be mindful. You got to know a woman do not take accountability. So you can't put that as a hard strike against them. But when it's constantly being repeatedly disrespected like that, that's a toxic woman. Another way you can tell that a woman is toxic, if you share stuff with her, your deep, dark stuff, or whatever the case may be, something very sensitive subject, in the first moment they get to where they want to make you feel bad, they throw it back up in your face. That's a toxic woman. It's a red flag. Now, Matt, if she toxic, how can I get out the relationship? It's really hard to get out of a relationship. It's hard to get out of a toxic relationship. You pretty much damn near going to be stuck in a relationship until that person finds someone else, lose interest in you, and move on. You see, because if you try to keep on getting out of it, they're going to constantly keep on telling you that you never wanted to be with them. You don't care about them. That stuff will pop up. And in the beginning, it will reel you back in. But you got to start getting that thick skin, and you got to be willing to walk away from someone that you cared about. And when you walk away, you can't look back. Because if you looking back, it makes no sense, because you passed it up for a reason. And if you passed it up, why is you looking back when you should be looking forward? Now, I know you probably like, well, why would I still stay in a toxic relationship and I can't get out of it? You can still get out of it. You got to stand your ground. You got to be willing to detach yourself from that individual. Because trust me, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to change. They're going to be exactly the way that they are. And that's just what it is. They will put Band-Aids on the situation to try to make you feel like they changed. They'll even try to drop tears or whatever else to get you back in their web. And you got to be able to stand firm. You got to be willing to just deal with healing from that relationship. Because trust me, dealing with a toxic person, it will suck you emotionally. You will have to rebuild yourself. You will have to heal yourself, and do not go looking for a new relationship right away, because the worst thing you can do is jump into the next relationship with some unfinished baggage that you didn't unpack and heal from, putting into this relationship. And then now you're going to be comparing this person with that person. You're going to blame this person for some things that she did not do because of what somebody else has done. So you got to be very patient. You got to have patience, and you got to be very alert and pay attention to everything, all actions. Because words is just words. If the actions does not match them, why are you wasting your time listening to what the individual have to say? It's a waste of your time. No relationships, no new relationships. Some people can fully heal within 6 months to a year. Some might take 3-4 years. You see what I'm saying? Then you have others that can heal in 3 months or so. Me, I'm a different type of person. I like to make sure that when I go into a new relationship, that the relationship is nowhere near like the last relationship. I make sure that I don't bring the old relationship into the new relationship. I allow that individual to make their own mistakes and not make them pay for someone else's mistakes. So you have to be very mindful of that, because you get another relationship and you can still attract the same thing that you've been attracting. You could probably attract another toxic woman. And what you gonna do? You're gonna be caught up in a web, and you're gonna go through the same thing over and over and over again. And the same thing apply for women. A woman could get out of that toxic relationship and jump right into a relationship a month later, 2 months later, 2 weeks later, however, and without healing themselves, not getting over the person, but healing. Because sometimes we don't get over people, but when you heal from it, you can live without them. You see, big difference, big difference. Mac, how do you know all of this? Dude, I've been through so much in my life, and a lot of my first relationships that was the most heartbreaking relationships come from my mother and my father. The man that don't know if Mac Truck is dead or alive. The man that didn't teach me how to tie my shoes, say my ABCs, count my numbers. The man that didn't put a Band-Aid on my first scrape. The man that didn't even teach me how to be a man. You see what I'm saying? Those was my first relationships where I got my heart broken. So I pay attention to everything that goes on. I'm a super empath. I feel everything. Super empath. That's why you guys won't ever see me in large crowds. You won't ever see me with no more than 2 peoples with me, myself and 2 others. Now, if it's my kids, that's different, but you're not going to ever see me in big packs. I don't even really go to family functions when there's so many people, because it drains me. It sucks me. I get entangled with everybody else's energy. After expos and bodybuilding competitions, I'd be drained like a car battery. And it take me nearly over a week to get myself back charged up and balanced. Been going on all my life. When I played football, ran track, everything, it always drains me. Always. But I keep ticking. I keep educating myself. I keep learning. I keep giving everybody their fair shot to make their own mistakes. I'm not holding anything against anyone. Anyway, it's the People's Champ. Giving it to you gun barrel straight, raw and uncut, no filter. Hopefully, you guys can learn something from this video. Hopefully, you guys really can learn something from it, because it is very, very important that you pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings and healing yourself. Because you got to remember, guys, we don't have no one we can turn to that we can go be open with. If we can't be open with our significant others, what else we gonna do? Because they be like, oh, I don't like him. He's too sensitive. He's too emotional. Yeah, but he's a beast in them streets. So he should be able to come home and feel safe and feel protected within his woman arms or his man arms. If he, what is it, gay, bisexual, whatever the case may be, you should be able to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable in your safe zone. And if you're not, you are in a toxic headspace. Till next time, I smell y'all later. Keep.